Hi guys, thanks for joining me. We have a new moon coming up on the 29th of November, and this new moon is in Sagittarius. So as always, the new moon is a time of pulling in extra energy and getting ready for the next monthly cycle and starting again. So it's about planting seeds of intention and really focusing on what you want to create in the month ahead. So the moon is totally black, it's turned its face away from us, it goes inward, and it becomes reflective and thoughtful, and it says, what is it that I really want to focus on here in the month, and in this case in the month of December. Now the energy that's being pulled in this case is Sagittarius energy, and Sagittarius is a really positive sign of the zodiac. It's represented as the centaur, so it's half horse, half man, and he's got his bow and arrow as well, and he is constantly kind of shooting his arrow at a target. So it's about setting goals and then moving towards them. And there's also a sense that I'm capable. You know, I'm fast, I'm strong, I'm resilient. If I set my mind to something, I can really do it. So there's a real sense of optimism and positivity involved with this. The element associated with Sagittarius is fire. And fire has to do with life purpose and creativity. But not only that, this new moon happens at 7 degrees, and in numerology 7 is about creativity and your mindset. So the sense that I get is that the energy that's going to be pulled into your system is going to make you feel very creative and very passionate, and it's going to push you towards expressing that in some sort of tangible format. So whether you want to start making origami or jewelry design or flower arranging or pottery, regardless of what it is, quilt making, it's about taking what's going on internally and presenting it in some sort of tangible way. Now, the other thing associated with fire is anger and feelings of rage and power and maybe even frustration. So don't feel like this is inaccessible to you if you don't feel like you're in the perfect place personally or emotionally. You know, you're not just a machine. You will have lots of different things going on in life, and whatever it is that's going on for you at the moment during this new moon on the 29th, that's what you're meant to be working with. You know, what comes to mind is that picture, The Scream, which was painted by this Scandinavian artist, and he went into his local city and he felt a great sense of horror and alienation and isolation when he was around other people, and he took those really unpleasant feelings and he worked with them and transformed them into something beautiful, into this picture that we're still looking at, you know, 100 years later. So don't shy away from your own feelings. If things feel less than perfect, it doesn't matter. It's the imperfection of how you're feeling is perfect, and it's whatever you've got on this day that you should be working with. Everything is as it ought to be on this day, so don't worry about that so much. Now the new moon happens right on top of the midheaven, and the midheaven in astrology has to do with life purpose, work and career, and the career that you're really meant to do. So if you engage with this process and if you discover a new kind of creative output for the first time, this isn't just a flash in the pan. This is very unlikely to be something that just fizzles and goes nowhere. This is likely to lead you down a road that may even turn into a career. So if you're someone who's been struggling with life purpose, or, you know, how do I become creative, this is the perfect time for you, because you can experiment a little bit. The universe is working with you here. The new moon is pulling all this Sagittarius energy in, which means that your cup of creativity is really going to be overflowing, so that there's no shortage of energy. You can try different things, and it's very likely that you find something that's going to stick. Not only is the new moon on the midheaven, but Saturn is also floating around. Saturn is the planet of scrutiny and restriction. A very easy way to think of this planet is as the emperor in the tarot. He sits on his stone throne. He is rigid. He is an authority figure. He's critical. He's also very reliable in a sense, and he's not going anywhere. So Saturn is in Sagittarius. This creativity is going to feel very rock solid, and you're not going to question it. You're just going to act on it. And again, this Saturn placement heightens the potential of your creative output to end up as being something that's really long lasting and long term, and that may have to do with your career. So I've already said this, but this is the ideal time for people who are struggling with, you know, uncertainty or things not really working out or lasting in a career sense. This is your time to do that personal exploration and to really bring in some sort of creative technique that's going to last and that's going to stand the test of time. Mercury is hanging around as well. Mercury is in Sagittarius too. That's at 25 degrees. And Mercury is the communication planet. And it's the ideas planet. So your intellect and your creativity are very much aligned, and you have what it takes to actually produce it. You know, it's one thing to have all of these wonderful ideas and to be creative, but if I'm a mute or something, I'm not going to be able to speak. If I can't write, I'm really going to struggle to kind of get my thoughts on paper. That is not the case. Everything is aligning to give you a wonderful, easy outlet so that you can actually produce your thoughts and feelings, and you can find some sort of tangible format to put them in. Now, the new moon squares the South Node and Neptune, which are in Pisces, and there is friction between this sense of creativity moving forward, and kind of at the back of your mind there's all of this intuitive, psychic, imaginative stuff going on, and that's really what feeds your creativity. So it may not feel super easy or comfortable, and this new moon is going to feel exciting and it's going to feel energizing. It's not going to feel soothing and peaceful and calming. So don't expect that. And that's why I also said that it's okay to work with whatever emotions you've got, whether that's rage or anger or agitation, because it's very likely that there are going to be feelings floating around that are less than perfect or less than pleasant. On the other side, the new moon squares the North Node in Virgo, and the friction here and the motivation is going to be, well, how can I take this creative output and how can I do something with it that's going to be something useful in my life journey, and something that I want to hang on to, and something that's going to be important. So it's about really thinking practically and planning your career and saying, okay, well, the month of December, I'm going to spend it painting, but really what does that mean for my job as a teacher? Am I going to keep being a teacher, or am I going to shift to being an artist full-time or a writer full-time, or should I be an art teacher or what? So that thinking ahead is very much present. Don't let that drain the fire that you're feeling in the present moment. There's a lot going on here. So at the back of your mind, you're inspired. In the present, you feel fiery and a little bit restless and you want to create. Ahead, you're thinking, well, what does this all mean? There's a lot on your plate. So during all of this, just be aware that, you know, you are a human being, that you can't solve all of your life problems in one day, and that it's okay to have a little bit of time, an hour here or there for yourself as well. So these squares then, they form a T-square with the new moon, which is a real area of friction and motivation. So all of these things come together to really push you towards doing something which will be a solid presence in your life. So yes, it doesn't feel super relaxing, but at least here with this new moon energy, you'll come up with something that's going to be there. You know, if that guy who went into town, if he had felt great that day and if he just went shopping, we would never have that picture. So it sucks for him that he had a bad day, but for the rest of society, it's really good because we have something wonderful to look at. So you've got to think of things from that perspective. It's not just all about feeling great. This new moon is about, what am I producing? That is the important thing that you should focus on. So what else have we got here with this new moon? There is a sesqui square. So the new moon is 135 degrees away from Uranus in Aries, and that's at 20 degrees. Uranus is the planet of rebellion and doing things uniquely in your own way. In Aries, it's about, get out of my way, I'm doing things, there are no obstacles, if I want to do it, I'm going to do it. And at 20 degrees, 1 and 2, it's about, the self in connection with something outside of the self. So in this case, some sort of creative tool. So again, that is very, very conducive to real creativity, to real originality, and to actually produce something that is unique and not just a regurgitation of something that's already there. So if you're going to create this masterpiece, or if you're already an artist working in a creative sense, use this new moon to take things to the next level and to break through and to create that one masterpiece that you've always wanted to create. Really, it's no holds barred. You're really not interested in what your peers are doing. You're really listening to your own fire and you're producing what's there. And that's it as far as the chart is concerned. That is the relationships the new moon forms. It creates this T-square, this Sesqui square. The only other thing that's hovering around, it's not conjunct, it's nowhere near enough to make a difference, but Black Moon Lilith is in Scorpio, quite a few degrees away. It's kind of an echo. Black Moon Lilith is really suppressing the emotional side of things, but it's in Scorpio at 21 degrees. So along with all of this Neptune South Node energy in the background, I really sense that you're not going to feel repressed and you're not going to feel scared to go deep. I think you'll be willing to say, what is it that I feel? And even if it does feel uncomfortable, you're going to be willing to go there. And again, taking things that feel uncomfortable and working with them creatively can often leave you in a position of creating something amazing for the rest of us to look at or listen to or read or enjoy or whatever it is. So that's what I feel this new moon is about. I hope you really are inspired. I really hope you use this energy to feel like, oh my God, I've got to create something. And it gives you a real sense of fire and passion about what it is you're doing. If you would like a private reading with me to look at your chart, what your life purpose is, how this new moon affects you specifically, what your creative aptitudes are, and in what format you should be working in, whether it's jewelry design or fashion design or language or creative writing or whatever it is, then please get in touch with me for a private reading. The website is gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab and you can order the reading there. Please remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel. That's really the easiest way to support me. If you do want to support me, then please just click that subscribe button. I will be with you for the daily tarot readings, the weekly horoscopes, the monthly horoscopes, and all the other little videos I do. I hope you have a wonderful new moon and a wonderful December, and I'll speak to you soon.